Hi, welcome back. I'm going to do a short, quick, and super easy video just showing you how to make one of these little screw top cases here for 3D printing. I'm going to make this two parts. The first part will be the case itself, and the second part will be a good workflow for this knurling pattern. I found one that works really well and just looks awesome with 3D prints. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is press C on the keyboard and make a circle on the XY plane that's 100 millimeters in diameter. I'm going to go pretty fast through this. I'm not going to parameterize anything because that's not really the point of this video. I basically just want to show you one tool. 10 millimeters is probably a little bit too tall. Let's do 6. And I'm going to make a new sketch on the top of that feature that we just created. I'm going to offset the outermost circle by 10 millimeters and then do it one more time by 16 millimeters. And what that has now done is given us a ring that has a distance of 6 millimeters between the inside and the outside face. I'm going to click on that ring, press E on my keyboard to extrude it up 30 millimeters, and now we have the beginnings of our cup, and I'm going to name it as such. Now that we have this feature in place, you have this new face on the sort of ledge here. And this is a much better workflow than what I showed you in my previous video, which looked a lot more like a Mario tube. You can press E on this face, extrude it up to the top by clicking on the top face of the cup, and then making sure that you're going to create a new body rather than joining it to the original body. And once you've done that, we now have two distinct bodies, and I'm going to name the lid as such. Now that I have that, I can hide the cup. I'm going to do a new sketch on the top of the lid, and once I do that, I can now select the face in the center of the lid where there's no material. And selecting both of these faces, I can extrude it up 6 millimeters. And now we have sort of the workings of our cup and lid. But the problem is we can't see inside to know what's going on. So I want to click on the Inspect and Section Analysis tool and grab one of these planes here so that I can just make sure that everything lines up. This is a really handy trick to know for when you're working with parts that need to mesh or are inside of one another. It helps to be able to look inside and get sort of a split view of what's going on here. And this is looking pretty good. This cup wall might be a little bit too thin, but I'll deal with that later. For now, I'm going to leave this section analysis on. You can turn it off quickly by just clicking the eye on the analysis section up here, but I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to hide the cup, and I'm going to press Create and click on the Thread tool and thread the inside face of this lid. Now, if you do this for the first time, it's probably going to have these settings. It's going to not be modeled, and it's going to be full length, and you're going to have remember size off. I'm going to go through these really briefly what these are. Modeled is whether the faces are actually being calculated by the software. People that don't want this on, or like if you're working with something that has a million tiny screws, you don't actually need to waste computing power on rendering the faces of the screws. This just, if you don't have it modeled, it's basically just a graphic that goes on the face to let you know that it's a screw without actually wasting the computing power. Full length is exactly what it sounds like. The threads type is the standard that you're using. I basically only use two, the isometric and the ANSI unified screw threads if you're in America or dealing with, SAE sizes. The size is exactly what it sounds like. The designation is just the size and the pitch of the threads added to it. So 6, 4, 3, 2, 1.51. That's the distance between each threads. And it's also the distance that will be traveled by one full revolution of intermeshing threads. So with this cup and lid, you got to keep in mind if we had really thin threads here, it's a 30 millimeter distance that we need to cover. If you have 1 millimeter pitch threads, that means you're going to need to spin it 30 times to be able to close it. And I used this intentionally on a previous video where I made a cup and lid that fit a Zyn can to help people stop using Zyns, nicotine pouches, because it was so frustrating to open and close. So if you haven't seen that video yet, you should definitely check it out. But I'm going to go back to these really chunky 6 millimeter pitch threads, and I'm going to make sure I click Remember Size and click OK. Now that I've done that, I can show the cup and hide the lid and do the exact same thing on the outer wall of the cup. Now, after I re-show the lid, you can see that there is some clearance, there is some space between the male and the female threads, or whatever you want to call this. I guess they're not male and female, they're just friends. We do have clearance between our androgynous threads, but it's not going to be enough for 3D printing. So what I'm going to do is pick whichever side has more material. In this case, it looks like it's the lid. I'm going to hide the cup and grab the top and bottom faces of the threads of the lid. I'm going to press Q on the keyboard to offset these faces and move them back by about 1/10 of a millimeter. And when I re-show the cup, you'll see that we now have much more clearance. I found that 1/10 of a millimeter, 0.1 millimeters, is right about right for my 3D printer. Personally, I use an X1 carbon. Depending on how calibrated your system is, you may need more. Probably not less though, 1/10 is usually about right. I do want to correct one thing that I said in my previous iteration of this video. What I had said previously was that 3D printers have a hard time with large and small threads. And in hindsight, that was a comically naive thing to say, because if you get a close-up view of these threads here, Well, the size of the thread doesn't really matter. All that really matters is the angle at which your 3D printer has to print the overhang. So whether it's a large or a small thread doesn't matter. It's still going to be roughly 60-degree angle either way. Now, if you're dealing with these like really chunky screw threads here, well, yeah, that angle's a lot harsher. You know, your 3D printer is going to have a much more difficult time printing something like this, but it's not because of the size, it's because of the angle. So hopefully I've made that clear. Now, I mentioned that this wall is probably going to be too thin, and looking at this, I'm almost certain that it is. There's two ways that you could do this. You could either offset this face by 3 millimeters, or perhaps a more proper way to use Fusion 360 would be to go back to your previous sketch, and you can change this from 16 millimeters to 18 millimeters. And we've designed this in such a way that it's going to be able to recalculate everything from those changes. We went back in the timeline, made an edit, and everything else updates accordingly. And now we have a pretty handsome looking cup and a lid. And I like the way that it looks. But you'll notice that it's missing something. It's missing that very attractive knurling pattern that makes it look so much more professional. And to learn how to do that, we're going to jump right into the second part of this video, which is going to start right